ago, rising country music star Stephanie Brownlee came into the studios. I had a chance to chat with her and get to know the so-called Australian Taylor Swift. I asked where she came from and how she got into country music.
Well, I'm Stephanie Brownlee. I'm from Tamworth. I was born and raised in Tamworth. But being from the country and living and breathing it, basically, I was surrounded by country music. And yeah, it was basically instilled in me. And so that's where my country roots come in. And then I moved up to the Sunshine Coast when I was 10. And I started getting singing lessons when I was about 14. And then I met my manager when I was about 14 and a half. And yeah, it's gone from there. I went to Nashville last year and recorded my album. And I've done 9 shows with the McClymonts as a support act. And my album's released on the 23rd of July, and it's just been picked up by Senity, so it's going through all stores nationwide, which is very exciting.
Stephanie's debut album, Keep It Real, was released on Friday, the 23rd of July. Songwriters for the album included well-known Disney girl Miley Cyrus and also Taylor Swift's co-writer Liz Rose, who wrote many of Taylor's well-known hits. With a diverse mix of songwriters, the young artist has a unique sound that she is proud to call her own.
I would describe it as country rock with an edge.
Being just 17 years old, recording an entire album in Nashville would have been a great experience. I wondered if there were any incidents or stories that stood out in particular.
I love the whole process of being an overall artist, but I think you learn new things like every day in the music industry. In it, the longer you're in it, the more you learn. When I went over to Nashville, I think it was an amazing experience being able to go to a top studio like Ocean Way Studios in Nashville. Going in there and seeing the amazing session players. Like we went in the studio and they would listen to the tracks maybe once or twice, and then they'd write them down, and then they'd just go into their own little room and record it, and they'd just play it to perfection. So that was really outstanding for me, and I was kind of amazed at that because it was done so quickly.
I bet you got to meet some interesting people when you were in America. Can you tell us about the most exciting?
I met up with Billy Burnett. He replaced Lindsay Buckingham when Lindsay left Fleetwood Mac. We went back to his house and had a look around, and he had all his records and stuff on all the walls, and we went downstairs and he has an attic where he made it into his studio, and I played him a song when I was upstairs, and Mum pointed to this thing in the corner and she said, "Steph, look at this," and I looked at it, and it was this like pick, but it was like 10 times the normal size of an average pick, and it had the initials EP on it, Elvis Presley. So I was like, whoa. So that was pretty amazing to me.
Although she is already a signed recording artist, Stephanie still likes to hang out like any other 17-year-old. She described her favourite things to do in her spare time.
I love going to the beach with my friends just because it's so peaceful, and I can just lay down and tan and not worry about anything else, and just that's like my relaxation time. But I also love hanging out with my family because we're a really close family, and like playing with my little brothers. That's basically what I love to do.
So every little kid has aspirations. What did you want to grow up to be when you were in preschool?
I was like a character when I was little. I wanted to be like everything. And preschool or daycare staff members used to write down on a piece of paper all the funny things that the kids would do and the kids would say. So I was reading through the sheet because Mum found it, and so we were like, oh, this will be cute to look at. And apparently one day the staff were asking everyone what they wanted to be when they grew up, and I was like, I'm gonna be a model. And they were like oh, okay. And then I walked off, and I just had like an evil look on my face, and I just walked off, and they thought that I was like really, really mad at them. And so they see me like turn around at the other end of the room. I turn around and they just see me like strut towards them, and I was like, see, I am gonna be a model. That's the type of stuff I used to do when I was little, but I always changed. I always wanted to be a model, then I wanted to be a singer, of course.
And finally, I asked Stephanie if she could duet with any artist, who would it be?
That's a good question. There's so many people I'd love to duet with. Maybe in country, I'd like to duet with Keith Urban. I don't know what song I'd like a song that's released. I think it would be cool if we could get our own song to duet. But there's many, many people I'd like to do a collaboration with.
So now you know a little bit more about who Felicity Urquhart calls the new face of Australian country music, Stephanie Brownlee. Watch out for her video clips, and I'll leave you with her second single written by Miley Cyrus, Good Friend, Girlfriend.